Okay. So just quick recap what we did last time. We looked at two perspectives of operations. One operation is a business function, and the second operation being a transformation process. The later one is applicable to other function as well, where you deal with input, transformation, and output. That's model we discussed. Then we are looking at what is operations management. Okay. So operations management is basically we had the intersection of these two perspectives. So we say you deal with production and distribution of goods, that's operations, and then you deal with transformation process, which other function deal with as well, right? So if you have an intersection, then we say transformation process dealing with uh, production of and distribution of your primary goods, and then managing that is operations management. So that's what we had in the operations management. Okay. And the management aspect in general, whether it's operations or any management, will have some aspect of designing, planning, and then execution where you have a control function. Okay, all those do happen. Okay, so that's same is true here also. Then we started looking at the case and we tried to look at what are the kind of decisions you would typically make in a furniture company. And that's a example we had in the case, creative concepts. Okay. And this is our listing of decisions. Okay. So you have a product design, goods and service design, which is process management, capacity management, layout, location, etc. and so on. Right. So what I've done today is I've tried to put all the points what you put forward last time, okay, in this slide, except that I have kind of organized it in this manner, okay, close to that, not exactly same. Okay. So product design, process, and so on, okay, and then I've just put some points may still be missing. So the idea is not that it's very comprehensive, but it's just to show what we discussed. So you brought a point that in equipment, some people say, kind of equipment, okay, we should have, maybe we can expand and have a different kind of equipment. Capacity, people brought to point this scheduling issue, priority issue for the order, and then resource acquisition also was there. Some people, some person said vendor, okay, you buy material, so you select vendor. Inventory was also there as a point, and inspection of parts, raw material was also there. So we can add more. I may have missed out also, possible, right? So what we can think now is, okay, long-term decisions. If you go back to our earlier slide, this is design issue, okay? Or if you go in the model, design, planning, improvement. So you are participating in this kind of decisions as an operations manager, designing, planning, and control and improving, right? So I'm just trying to tag it now with the case, okay? And these long-term decisions are mostly pertaining to setting up the system. That means designing the systems, okay? So you have to come up with some configuration of machines, layouts, and so on. So these are the issues, okay, right? So in the product design, what could be long-term decisions? Anybody wants to point out in this area?
Sir, so when we are manufacturing a product, we can use some platforms which are common across our product offerings, all SKUs, so that it can minimize our fixed costs.
So right now, let's not go into what is good, what is not good. So you're trying to say what is appropriate way of doing it. Here, we only want to list what you can do. So I'll just say from your point of view,
common
product
platform
design, which is good product design, let's say, okay,
yes,
from whatever considerations you have. So considerations right now we'll skip. So product design, no, so you can do maybe for customized furniture, anyway, the customer will do, but you can define a range where you operate, for example, okay. Or for standard furniture, you can come up with design, your own design also. So those could be long-term decisions, okay. Process equipment is basically what type, you want a very flexible machine, which can basically cater to a different kind of wood, let's say, or different kind of sizes of furniture, so it's flexible, or it could be standard also, right? So we have already decided in standard market. So this is the kind of equipment you want to buy. That could be long-term decision. Now capacity is not just equipment, but the sizing. So you want 10 equipment, 4 equipment, 5 equipment, big plant, small plant, that way. Okay, capacity. Layout, how we will arrange those equipment. So you currently have a layout. Do you need to change it? If you have incorporated new product, do you need to change in layout? So you will organize it differently. Okay, so that's kind of long-term decisions. Purchasing long-term would be vendor selection. This was already pointed out. So you might say, okay, I want to select a vendor for this particular role, supply this particular type of boot, and which has a certain quality standards, right? So if it's a customized product, now they're very conscious about the quality of the raw material, which will lead to a good kind of furniture, no, when you process. So that you might have some deal, you might have a deal with vendor regarding the lead time, no, how quickly they can deliver, because that's also important factor. So on whatever basis, but you select vendor. So that's long-term decisions. For inventory, what could be the long-term decision in inventory area?
So in long-term inventory, we can actually have a right. We can understand the right amount of inventory that needs to be kept in
So
the
aggregate level or individual product, or both?
So both, actually we can understand what is the demand, and accordingly we can keep the storage and the production level, and according to the production level we can understand that how much labor is required.
So this is more like a policy setting. So about inventory. Okay. So because your finance will also put some cap, no? You can't have so much of inventory. So that will cap, your warehouse will put some cap on inventory, right? And then responsiveness may also call for some kind of inventory, you know, because you want to be quick, at least for the standard furniture. The customized, you cannot inventory, you can only inventory the raw material, right? So those kind of policies you can set. Okay. And this could be a more segregated level. Okay, so you can deal with in a next 1 week, I want to do what product, what, you know, what I want to order. This is more segregated in which area. This is more aggregated. Quality management, same thing. You can think about policy of quality. So in the maybe standard furniture or customized furniture, what quality policy you will have? You know, about the raw material, about the processing. So it's all policy. How many inspections you want, and what level of standards they should pass, you know, to get it to the customer. So you can set all those policies. This will be actually doing those on day-to-day basis. So short term, no? So you'll be inspecting parts to ensure that it's meeting the standard. This one will say you must ensure 4 times, let us say. Okay. Work policy, what will be long term?
So labor laws and all.
Okay. So more, at least we don't control the laws. Government does it, but within that we can definitely say, okay, we will hire skilled labor. Okay. We'll hire multi-skilled labor, because that's what is required, right? We hired somebody with a certain qualification. So hiring policy could be one, right? So those type of things, and the work policy, and short term would be actually deploying them. So who will do what? Who will do overtime? Whether you need. So it's a short term management of the labor. It's a long term management of the labor. Okay. So
So
I guess you got the gist, right? So I'll move on, because this is what you will be learning in the entire OM courses. So we will not learn everything at this point of time, but you'll get sense. Okay. So I just want to reinforce, these all are required before you start the furniture operation. Okay. And of course, that what you set at one time is not going to remain forever. So intermittently you will be revising, improving. And that is where you have a loop here, the improvement loop. So improvement does not necessarily mean you have a defects and then you have a kind of lacuna in your solving. That could be one, but improvement may also mean that adjust, readjust, you know, because our market conditions changing, products are changing, competition is changing. Accordingly, if there is a need, you might readjust. You take it that way, improvement loop. Fine. So this should link with the earlier, at least the scheme, at least. Okay. So we have those kind of decision in furniture. That's the whole idea here, and grasp some amount of grasping. Okay. Right. Then what was the next question in the case? How did sales and marketing impact operations when they begin to sell standard pieces to retail outlets? Okay. Now, before I ask the impact part, I want to ask you, okay, was it the right decisions on the part of sales and marketing to bring this standard product? Yes. What do you think, a prudent one? the right one at least, justifiable. Yeah, Himanshu, you have something?
No, sir. I'm
Okay. So yeah, there is some raise. Vibhuti?
Yes, sir, in my opinion, I don't think it was a wise decision to venture into standard products, only because they were getting most of their profits from the customized products, plus increasing of, venturing into standard products also made the warehouse costs to increase. So I think if they would have stuck to just the custom part, it would have been better for them.
Okay. So the getting new is not a good idea for you. Okay. The way. Okay. Anybody else? Now different view or same view? Okay. Yeah. Devji.
Sir,
Devji.
yes, sir, I think that it was a good idea because standardized products will give them a higher volume in the long run, and if they can set up their production facilities accordingly, then they can increase their revenues also. And they have also mentioned that the sector is that segment is also growing at a fast pace. So I think it was a prudent decision.
Okay. Yeah, Tanvi.
So I think that it was not a prudent decision because even before marketing, what the marketing people should have done was like get a proper idea of what the demand would be, and according to that, they might have like had different assembly lines for both the products, because in the end they were not able to
not get into the production part. Okay, let's just get from the marketing point of view. How will you justify? How will you think about it? See, marketing, if you recall, no, we discussed different functions and say marketing's one of the goal is to get demands, right? To identify demands, right? That's one of the goal. So is it at least from that demand, that point of view justified? So, because they got a new kind of product, no, which they can sell. From that point of view,
From demand point of view, it was justified because in the end they did get like good number of orders for the standardized product.
okay. But the other point what we are making is it's not working. So I think what I'm getting here is from you as well as there was another speaker earlier, right? Vibhuti, I think. So it's not working. So that part I'm getting sense. So that's the impact they want to say. What has happened to operations? You know, how is operations responding to it? Can you point out that it could be problem, positive, negative, whatever that because of this decision? So I'll take up maybe views other later. No? So other questions, but on this, you can answer that question, whoever that how is it impacting operations? So the decision now we may have a debate that okay, they've taken, okay, yes, there was a demand, there is a demand which is justified, and it's marketing's role to do that job, right? So they've done, but whether it's a right time, right way, all those can be questioned. But the getting demand, that part they are correct. I don't think there's any debate on that, right? So how is it working in operations? That's the question. How is it impacting operations? Yes. Okay.
So the problem here was operations was not well equipped for this standard demands. So instead, what could have been done is instead of directly producing standard products, they could have opted for assemble to order.
Okay, so let us still go to the recommendation part in question 4. But what you are saying is not working for a standard part, right? Can we elaborate in what kind of problems you are facing? How is it impacting? One point maybe each, or maybe Kisan, you can add.
Yes, sir. So I would say that for both the manufacturing process for both the product, the same line is there, means production line is used. So what? So there is the issue. They need to means optimize that.
Okay, but what is happening? Only just point out the symptoms, the problems. So what's the problem they are facing? How is it impacting?
So because of that, they
also,
are
you can
only.
keep in mind operations. Our job is see what we said in our definition. We are into making and distributing product, and all the resources, system, processes which are catering to that production and distribution are managed by operations, right? So do you face any issues in those areas? Let's point out those. Okay.
Sir, yes, we do. So we are facing increasing lead times and quality control issues.
Okay. So we are getting a lead time issue. Yes.
Also, inventory is increasing.
Yeah. Deepali. Yeah.
Sir, shelf availability was also the problem because the demand was increasing, but the production was not up to the mark. So shelf
The
availability.
quantity issue, you are saying capacity issue or what?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Praveen, you have any points to add?
Yes, sir. And we were using the same craftsmen for both the products. So we were using the same quality person for both the things, but we don't needed that.
Okay. Yeah. So that is again the improvement part. But right now the problem is there's a conflict. So scheduling conflict. Did you notice scheduling conflict?
Yes,
Nancy?
scheduling is also there because in case of a customized product, they were using like process layout. The machines were similar machine was kept in similar area, same area, and for standard product, the product line may change because of this process layout.
Yeah,
may
but they
take
have not done
larger
it.
time.
Right now, they have not done
Yes,
any
sir.
changes. Right?
They
So
were
will-
doing the work on the same layout.
So from managing the production point of view, that's operations job, right? Production point of view, you're facing, okay, how to schedule product. Now we are having capacity issues. We can't get things out. We can't get things out in the time, no, the reasonable time, whatever was earlier existing. Okay. So those are issues. Space problem. Is it mentioning in space problem, warehouse space?
Yes, sir. It was mentioned that a lot of funds were tied up to manage the expensive warehouse space,
Okay.
and also a lot of products they were they were in different phases of completion.
Inventory. Basically, a lot of inventory. So that's also operations management job to control inventory. You should not have too much of inventory, right? Okay, so these are some of the things. Okay, scheduling conflicts. I put some. It need not be that is exhaustive list. Okay, but another point I think one student already pointed out is this current operation is not equipped for basically producing standard pieces. Okay, so this also brings to the point when you design an operations, right? It probably is designed keeping certain thing in mind, but if things change in terms of, let us say, product in this case, now that design may not be adequate. Now that is where we have a loop where we say improvement. Okay, loop. So you may have to intervene and improve things. Okay, adjust things. So that's also brings our other category of decisions, improvements. Okay. So I wanted to point that. So, okay, so we are facing problem. So we move ahead from that. This also tells that if you make decision in one particular area, okay, marketing, let's say they bring a product, okay, they have done that. And they may be justified. They can definitely, they've justified the top management. That's how they were allowed to do it. Okay. And because demand and all those, maybe they see that market for customized might saturate. So they want to move into new market, whatever consider. Okay. So diversifying is also could be a good idea. But this system is not ready for it. Okay. So when you work in silos like this, no, finance making some decision or marketing making some decision, you should also probably see the impact of that in operations. So that's idea of this question, that you make a decision in that which might look very legitimate, very justifiable, but what are the impact on that in other functional areas? Okay, and then you can see a lot of issues in operation. Do you get this point at least? Okay. So now you can also see, does it also impact finance? That is the third question. Okay. So is it also impacting finance? So can you comment on this? Yes, Praveen.
Yes, sir. It does affect finance because our warehousing, our inventory cost is increasing. So our money is getting locked because of that.
So the cost is increasing. How do you see it? Cost is increasing.
Yes, sir.
So your profit will be squeezing.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other problem in the finance? So again, the same point, no, marketing makes a decision. It impacts operation, and not just operation, it also impacts your finance, financial structure. So one point brought is that your costs are increasing. Any other thing happening?
Sir, the working capital is increasing.
Okay, so that's also leading to cost also. Apart from that, you occupy space, sir, and all those.
Inefficiency.
Cost also, because you have to pay, no, interest for the working capital, and working capital is also required, but cost has also indirect effect on the working capital as indirect effect. Yes, working capital. Yes. So cost, working capital, anything else? How about your revenue? Revenues. Yes.
The revenue has been clearly increasing as mentioned, but the the sales have been growing. But that does not necessarily implicate that the company is very optimizedly operating and generating the profit margin that it should have.
So what's happening to profit? So why is there contradiction? Is it a contradiction? No, that your revenues are increasing, but your profits are still not increasing. Is it in absolute terms?
There
Or
is one
per
thing
unit
that
basis? Yeah, Nancy.
customer satisfaction for the customized product is decreasing due to increased lead time in customized product as well.
So that will go into question 2.
The revenue volume ratio will be decreasing because they will be selling more volume of standard materials to get the same amount of revenue.
No, so in absolute number, is it increasing or not? First is absolute number. So suppose you sold something worth 1 million last year. Now this year, will it be 1 million or more than 1 million?
More than 1 million.
More than 1 million, right? So that revenue in absolute number might be increasing, but what's happening to total profit may also be increasing, possible. But what they are pointing out is a profit per unit basis. If you do, that may not be increasing. You get this why?
Yes, because cost per unit is increasing.
Okay, cost per unit is increasing. Fine. Okay, that could.
So revenue for standard products is lower.
That's another point. Okay, so if you take, I'm not getting the marker. Okay. Yeah, marker. Let me stop sharing first. Get the marker. Here. Draw. Okay. So let's just work some numbers just for just say. So initially, let's say you're selling 100, okay, and they are all standard, okay, and sorry, all customized, okay, customize, okay. Now this is your earlier, right? Now standard is here, standard is 0. This is your earlier, okay. Now suppose I'm just giving some fictitious number because I'm not following the 60, 30, whatever number they're saying. I'm just giving something like this. Okay, this is what it is now. Assuming that total is same, it may have increased also. Okay, total might be more than 100 also, but for simplicity. Now, what was happening earlier? Yeah, so one is the cost itself has increased. So if you say, so you can say your selling price minus cost, right? This is your profit. Okay. So this is your profit. So the selling price, if you take, okay, this 100 into some number, whatever customize is selling. Now you take here 80 into the same number and 20 will have a reduced number, right? Because the standard will sell for less. So your total actually revenue is decreased here. Okay, if you have the same level of sales, but ideally same level of sales may have also increased. But just to make the point, if you have a split, total revenue has decreased. Okay, and cost has not changed. Even if you say cost has not changed, you subtract 100 minus 100 into whatever the cost, because this cost you the same thing as this one. Okay, why is it costing same? Because you are using same facilities. Maybe there's marginally less because features are less. Okay, but the cost wise nothing has changed. Now they are saying cost has increased, so it will have even more negative impact on profit. But even if the cost doesn't change, your it will be redistributed and total cost will remain the same. Revenue has reduced, so your profit will reduce. Okay, so just making this point clear that because of the standard, because the margins of standards are less than margins of customized, if you use the same capacity for both, you're likely to have less profit. So this part I was just trying to make it clear. Okay. Okay, the problem there, at least mentioned in the case, is more inventory operating cost, inventory investment, profits are not as what it should be. That's what I was showing now. Okay, earlier for 100 pieces of customized, whatever you're getting, 100 pieces total, now you will not get the same thing. Space also costs you, right? These were the some of the things mentioned. Okay, so just to reinforce what this brings the case is, if you make decision in silos, it may be ideal for that particular objectives for that function, but it may not be ideal for entire organization. Okay, but it's not to say that what they have done is wrong. Yeah, Aishwarya, you have something? Yeah.
So one more thing was mentioned that the equipment that they are using, they are with respect to the customized product. So there is no specialization for standardized products.
Okay.
That is also hampering.
So how will that impact now? Can you spell out that cost structure, let us say, or efficiency, whatever, from both
So I
sides?
think from efficiency point of view, it is affecting, and also from financial perspective, it is producing lesser than what it should have. So revenue is hitting.
So does anybody see that? Okay, see, for customized furniture, I may hire, let's say, worker. Okay. Now, what kind of skill I need in the worker? Should be a single skill, multi-skilled, highly paid, low wage? How do you see? High wage, low wage?
Because specialization is required, so that
No,
is
I'm
why
just
highly
talking about
skilled labor
customized
and
furniture. That means every customer might be ordering different thing, different features.
yes.
Now you have a worker who should be doing all those things, right? Same
Yes.
worker. Okay. So he should be, or he or she should be skilled in all those things which are required to create those all the features.
Yes.
So will it be highly skilled or less skilled?
Highly skilled.
Highly skilled. So will you be paying more or less?
Yes, more will be paid.
Now for standard furniture, do you need that?
No, for
You
standard
don't need
furniture, no.
that. So your cost basically is higher than what it should be.
Yes.
If you deal with it. Yes. So I'm just elaborating and what you are pointing out. Okay. For benefit of others. Okay. Right. So customized facility basically is pointing out that need not cater to the standard one. Okay. It's not ideal. That is clear in this case. Right. So we need to do something. So we'll come back to that. So this fourth question I'm deferring right now. Okay. We'll come back to the fourth question, what they should have done, because I want to present the operation strategy perspective also. And then we will analyze this from that perspective rather than what we have learned. So, okay. So I'm just moving on and we will kind of analyze the decisions again more closely. Okay, operations decisions. Okay. So we categorize decision into short term and long term, right? All operation decisions. Now I want you to look at it slightly differently. Okay, that another way of looking at the decisions is operational, tactical, or strategic. So now let's understand what this is. Anybody want to say what is operational, tactical, and what is strategic? Yeah, Anand.
So, sir, operational, tactical, that things can be something which is dealing with local optimum levels, whether I am utilizing my machines or resources properly.
Can we get this furniture or any specific example just to explain some example you might give?
So, for example, the overall equipment efficiency of the lathe machines that I'm operating to produce the, so I would be looking at the local optimum of that process.
So how best you can run that lathe?
Yes, right.
So basically you're saying the domain is just the lathe rather than company. So it's talking about domain part. Okay. Anything,
exactly.
Anybody else? Yeah. Keshav.
Sir, operations plays a strategic role, means that how can a firm gain competitive advantage over other firms using its operation strategies?
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So on the tactical side, anybody?
Tactical means that internally, what how can it improve its operations operations that which would lead to cost reduction?
Yeah, but need not be always cost reduction. So any improvement, suppose material flow is improved, let us I change the layout, material flow is improved, that could also be an objective, right? Our process is simplified, it might ultimately lead to cost reduction also. Yeah, there are some other views. Yeah, Dhanasri.
So operational, in terms of tactical decisions, it will be majorly what happens on the shop floor, the improvement of efficiency and others. And in terms of strategic role, it will also include strategic sourcing or other terms that can help the business as a whole.
Okay, okay, fine. So what I'm getting is, one part I'm getting is the domain of activity. So when you are saying operational, then basically you deal with a narrow domain, something. This is a broad. Other I'm also seeing is a long-term implication and short-term implication, right? So if you're making operational tactical decisions, then you are dealing with a short-term implication. Let's say, I get the I'm just doing scheduling decision, right? It's operational. So operational also mean basically more like a day-to-day short term. Okay. So it has short-term implications. So I'm making, okay, I put a person in this machine, okay, for today, right? Suppose I make a wrong decision. What will happen now? Tomorrow I can change, revise my strategy. Not much will be lost. Just one day's production, right? Or something on that day. But I can still recover. But suppose I buy a machine which is very flexible, which can cater to a range of product, which is all those efficient that way. Okay, range. I have paid a lot of money for that, right? But I am using it for maybe standard product. So am I justifying that? So the buying, deciding those has strategic implications. So if our market is not for the customized product, that's not serving me well, right? So this could be one example where you can think of strategic has kind of business implication as a whole, and it can impact your competitiveness in long term, right? And it's not easy to reverse also. Other one is easy to reverse. Nancy, you have something?
Just to say that operations decision have short-term implications, like based on every order coming, we can decide that who is going to how we are going to deal with particular order, day-to-day basis, short-term basis, and strategic decisions might be like for particular location of the plant or purchasing of the machines.
Okay, fine. Yeah. So, okay. So that is why I'm bringing this slide is one reason, because see, many times the confusion happens is this. Okay. There's one word called operations, other is operational. Okay. So operations, we have tried to define what operations are. Operational is just day to day. So they're not the equivalent term, synonymous terms. That's one part. So operational is different than operations. That's one part I want to bring. Other is whether operations are operational. All operations decisions are operational, or they can also be strategic. Meaning, see, operational meaning is more also like subordinate role. So somebody decides that you fall in line, and you very well fall in line. There's no problem falling in line, and this okay. So that is operational roles are more like that. You have some policies under which you work. You make decision on day-to-day basis following those policies and those guidelines and all those, and you fall in love. So does operation play that sort of role where you are all subordinates to some corporate decisions, marketing decision, finance, other functions make decision, or top level make decision, you fall in line. Okay. And basically it doesn't influence your organization as a whole. It will work well, it will work fine. So then you don't play any strategic role, okay, as operations. But we want to explore the view otherwise. And many people think operations are what? You only do operational activity, produce things, do get things right. But people may not realize that how you design your operations has a long role and strategic role. So that's a view we want to explore now, that can it play strategic role? Okay. So that's why I brought this point: operation, operational, tactical. Tactical is kind of middle. Okay, operational and strategic in between. Okay. So let's explore with some concrete example we'll do. Okay. So what I will do now. Okay. So I'm just bringing this short term and long term again, because that's what came in discussion, that operational and tacticals tend to be short term decisions, or the short term decisions tend to be operational and tactical, and long term decisions may have implications which are strategic. Okay. It doesn't mean that all the long term decisions are always made keeping strategy in mind. Okay. Ideally they should be, but sometimes we don't just do that. Okay. So for example, I just find some automated system available in the market, and then I may have a very tactical short-term consideration in buying it, because I'm facing a lot of trouble in the shop floor. Maybe that will sort out some of those problems. But how it will fit into product, how it will fit into market, how it will make you stronger or weaker vis-a-vis your competitor, those things may not necessarily be seen all the time. Okay. But here we will put a view that it should be seen. Okay. So that's what we'll get into that discussion now. Okay. So what we'll do, we'll start with the reverse. Now let's start with product market. Okay. So I just give you some example here. Okay. Let's see. So I've just put here two options for food. Okay, lunch. Okay. So one is you go and select your menu. Okay, select from the menu items, whatever you want to eat. Other is a thali. Okay, pre-packaged. Now I want to ask you a question, which one you will go for? Okay, and why? Let's get your views.
Sir, it depends whether I am going alone to the restaurant or I'm going with
So
a group of people.
you pick one of these and support it. Let's put it that way. Okay. So you pick one option, whichever you think, and support that why you go for it. Then we'll pick the other product and also see whether there is a support for other.
Sir, I'll go with the I'll order from menu because it will give me variety and I'll be able to
So variety.
make,
So
yeah.
one is the variety you will get. Yes. What? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Because of variety, I'll go there.
Variety of the food, right? The taste. Okay. Anybody else?
Sir, I will choose thali when I want to have a very fulfilling meal.
So fulfilling in the sense the range of product in that. What?
No, satisfaction. I mean,
satisfaction. So thali will have more satisfaction on selected menu, assuming there's no other constraint.
Yes, sir. Quantity of food will be high in thali with low price.
No, I can select high quantity even there in selected menu. A price, basically you got
Price, yes,
price
sir.
another thing.
Price is low in
So
thali with high quantity.
if you no constraint, then that's not the case. But if there's a constraint, price, right? Yes.
Yes, sir.
So thali offers you that okay, reasonable range of things at low cost. What else?
Sir, if we go every.
Yeah, 1%.
So thali is basically a standardized product. And if I go for a selected menu, I can get according to my choice.
Right.
So that is where I would choose selected menu where I can choose according to me what I want to eat. But in case of thali, it's just a standardized product, and it would cost me less, obviously, in comparison to selected menu.
Yeah. So any other point? Then I will just summarize. Yeah.
Sir, I will choose based on the availability. So the thali items are mostly prepared. If I have less time, I'll go for thali because that's already prepared and will be easier to get.
So the time is
the
also
selected
another
menu
factor.
will take longer time for preparation.
Yeah, so there's a time
Right.
factor which is coming additional. Yeah. Elika, you have something?
Yeah, so usually with thali, I would say the volume factor is something that I would consider because in thali sometimes we keep getting refills and it is like unlimited at times. So I will go for that.
Okay. So the quality will be good or bad?
Quality would be good.
Good. Okay. Yeah. Any other points? So what I'm getting, let's say summarize. So some of the good thing about selected menu is the choice you get. So see, thali I may have 10 items, I may not like all the 10, so I may waste also. That's also may happen, right? But if it's a menu, then I will just get what I want. I'll get according to my taste, right? So that's one major point in favor of that. First one. Second one, the major point. Yeah, Himanshu, you have something? Yeah, Himanshu is disconnected. Yeah. Richie.
Sir, if I go every day, I mean, if it's an everyday affair, then I'll probably go for thali. But if it's a special occasion, then I would
Yeah, but
order
why?
the
What is the root thing? Is it the cost? Is it the time, or is it what?
time, basically.
Time and
Yes.
okay. Yeah. So okay, so in favor of thali, you have a kind of standard items, right? And if you like those, it comes at a good price, right? And also time. So the time is a one element, cost is another element, quality is a third element. Three elements I can point out based on your discussion. The quality here would be variety and choice. Okay, so that is what you can say in favor of it. So what we are saying is now there are, just to sum up, there are two products, right? And both have their pros and cons. Do you agree? Right? So if you are an office goer and then you have, like your boss says only in 40 minutes time you have for lunch, right? Now you're most likely going to pick thali and cup, right? You're not going to go for selected meal. But if it's a weekend or something, party might go for that, right? Budget also is one factor, time is another factor. Okay. So these are, so there are two products, both basically meet the same purpose. So purpose, if you say, you can think of same, right? But they are different. So in their physical characteristics as well as their service characteristics, price, all those. Okay, so that's what we can say. Okay. So this is basically when you look at the product and service packet or package, whatever you call it, bundle, set of service, product features, and then you have to also look at the cost and time as additional things, right? To compare these two, and both may have pros and cons. I get you another example, which is more similar product. They are two more different products in that sense. These are more similar products. Okay. But both exist in the market, right? Now, the question to you is that, do they compete on the same basis? So in the first example, these two are attractive for different reasons, right? These two products. These are attractive for their choice. This is attractive for their price and short lead time. Okay. Now these two, now do these companies position them in the same way in the way they compete? Yeah, Srikant.
Sir, Pizza Hut is a little bit premium than Domino's, and they have various type of pizzas like pan pizzas, oven baked pizzas, and Domino's is a little bit cheap, and they don't have a lot of variety in it, and they just have veg and non-veg pizzas and no such variation in them.
Okay, so the variety is more, even though this might be costly Pizza Hut, you are saying?
Yes, sir. Pizza Hut is a bit costly.
And are they conscious about this? These companies, what they are doing? Basically, they're consciously doing it, or it's just an accident?
No, sir. I think they are doing it consistently. So
Okay, so they're positioning basically. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So the companies position products differently, right?
Yes,
so,
sir.
So that's the point you're saying. So the nature of, just to sum up with these two examples, questions, right? The nature of product, nature of market, and the nature of competition, the basis of competition, I would say rather, right? That we must basically note here that they are different. Okay. So the product is different here, right? You see first example, then this. Okay. And but the competitive basis is also different, right? So they're competing on variety and they're competing on cost and lead time. Okay. Same thing you might find for other product, that they may physically might be similar also in many cases, but they still have different positioning. Okay. So that's a product and market nature. Now the question is reverse. Now, would you say, Harsh, you have something?
Sir, two things I would like to add here, like in terms of regarding Pizza Hut, sorry, Domino's, it promises a quick delivery. That's how it has positioned. Second thing is, in terms of variety, it has more variety. And third is availability. We can easily find Domino's nearby.
Okay.
It might, so these things.
Fine. So these are their KPIs. Okay. Utkarsh?
So in Pizza Hut, what they do is their service is different. So they service their clients more in restaurants and stuff. And in Domino's, it's more of a self-service kind of thing. So this is how they have. Pizza Hut is more like a restaurant, family chain restaurant, and Domino's is more positioned like for
the
budget friendly.
Okay, delivery kind of thing. Okay. Okay. So the positioning is different. The point we may not agree, or maybe we are not exhaustively discussed, right? But typically the products might be different, right? So once you have this situation, now we're coming to operations. So we are interested in operations management. That means all the resources, systems, right, processes we want to set to make products, right, of one kind or other. Now, do you think the systems to maybe, to a particular product, it should be linked to the kind of product and service you're offering, even though they are food, for example, right? Both are, they maybe you are making dishes here. So it's selected menu or thali, you're making dishes, your kitchen, you're making dishes. But should you organize your process, resource, system differently based on your nature of the product, market, and competition? Anyone?
Yes.
Yeah, Elika, you have something?
Yes, sir. I think they will have to carry out their processes differently if they want to compete with each other in this.
Okay. So let us say, just say packaging, just for example, so if you're making thali, let's say cooking, will you do mass cooking or the small item? Yes, compared to this. as compared to this, because you have a standard, right? Few varieties, you have many varieties. You don't know which one will sell at that particular day. This one, you know that the same thing you have to sell, right? Only thing question will be how many thalis you will sell, but all of these will have same proportion of all those items. That okay, so you can predict each one more easily here than you predict the requirement here. Okay, of individual items. It's much easier, right? Now, how you cook, then you select. How you buy material might be different than here, right? How you do inventory might be different here than here, correct? So everything, so how you serve is also different, correct? So I'm just bringing with the simple example, just the point that the nature of product, market, and how you compete in that market, right? That's market itself, you can say. Okay, basis of that should impact your operations, how you design your operations. So is it clear now, at least? So if you work back, so that means what you design to produce thali in more efficient way is not the same system what you should have for this. You should have a different system for this too, if you want to do it well, right? Now that is where you can see some problem in your creative concepts, right? You have one type of product like this, another type of product like this, but your system is the same. So I hope you see that. Some of you have already pointed out this when we were discussing, but I deferred that question, right? Because I wanted to discuss this before it. Okay, so this is what we are saying. So should the difference in competitive position, and that means the product you serve, the market you serve, and the basis you serve, all those things. Okay, should impact how you build and distribute product. That means how you organize your operations. Okay, so we are saying yes to this. Okay. All right. Now I'll discuss a little bit more on the basis of competition in the language of operations, not in the language of marketing. Okay. So that's the next topic we will take. Okay. So we say in what way operations contribute to the competitiveness. Okay, because you are there to compete, right, with the rivals. Okay, and operations function is support you in that aspect. So if you say I'm competing based on price, cost, so operations should produce everything cheap. For example, that's a very simple example to understand this. So then it says, what are the areas and what are the ways where you can expect contribution from operations, in the area of to make you very competitive. So one I have listed here is the cost reduction. Okay, so do you see operations has a role in cost reduction? And yes, you can reduce material costs, right? You can reduce production costs, sometimes very efficient distribution, right? You can reduce this. So you may have a role. Now it's not same for all the products, right? Some products are more where manufacturing has cost is much more as proportion to total cost, overall cost. Some products don't have. So there you have less potential, but here you have more potential. Okay. So that's the cost side effect. Okay. And you can see that in the case, now we are not able to reduce cost for standard furniture in that particular case because our systems are not organized that way, right? Okay, so that's it. Now revenue impact, how you can sell more and you can get more revenue. So where operations and how operations can contribute there. So I have put here, your products are exceptional as perceived by people, right? Buyer, customer. How they might perceive might be different. Somebody may value quality. Okay, they may buy because your quality of your product. Some might value more your reliability. I will explain these terms. Okay, so just defer that. But there are some aspects in your service, maybe lead time, quickly you deliver, so and so on. So there are some aspects in operation. This is what we will discuss. Okay, the cost alongside this. Now all of these, some of these have impact in increasing revenue, and this cost is cost itself. So there's only one item here. Okay, so these two, this is the way you can expect operations to contribute in improving your competitiveness. Another one is a long-term capability building. Now, I don't know, you have not done the corporate strategy course, but people talk about core competency. Is anybody here who has heard this term, core competency? Yeah, Keshav. Yes.
Core competency means ability of a firm which cannot be easily copied by other firms. and
Okay.
it also gives rise to unique selling point of the organization.
Okay. Does it give you long-term benefit, short-term benefit?
Long-term benefit.
Okay. Harsh?
So, sir, we can say a company which has specialization, I would say, in producing something, and their operation is quite low income. In case some new company comes in, they won't be able to replicate the same thing which earlier company is already providing.
So some proprietary thing or something which has come over a long period of time of learning, you have developed something of your
Yes,
own.
sir. Yeah. Yes, sir. In terms
Which is
of that,
not
there is
available in the market. So basically what they say is you have developed something which is very unique, and people can see it can be unique, but people can next day they can copy, right? Then there's no benefit you get out of it. So it should be unique as well as not easy to copy or imitate. Another could be not easy to replace. Sometimes you don't copy, but there's another technology which does the similar thing. So then also you don't get benefit. But all of these, defying all of these, you have a core competency, where you don't have, or you have the conditions where this cannot be done. Okay. Now, if your operations has core competency, definitely that strength may be valued by customer, then you might get long-term benefit from it. So that's again one way of competing through operations. Okay. And we will see okay, some illustration also later, right? But you can see Toyota reaped this benefit for a long time. The Toyota production system was not understood by people for a long time, what they were doing. Okay, JIT, KIT, whatever you were saying, TQM, those were not understood. So they did that, benefit from it. Okay. So these are the ways. So basically you can help them developing a system which people don't find easy, and you have value for that in the market, you reap the benefit. In short term, relatively short term, okay, all of them are long term. You can increase your revenue by good service through quality, responsiveness, etc., or good feature of product which is also reflected in quality, or cheaper, right, or some combination of all of this. Okay, so these are the areas basically you can contribute as operations to give your company benefit, competitive. Okay, now they use a term, this they call something, mainly to these first two bullet points, not the third one. Third one is not included here, but they use something called operations capability or competence, and they use different terminologies. So I'm just showing this terminology. They say competitive priorities, performance objectives or performance dimensions, performance measures. These are the areas. So basically, you can think of that these are the metrics on which you judge your operations to contribute, okay, or perform well, because that is important. Okay, so these are nothing but it's a bundle of metrics, okay, and all of those we might capture the first two bullet points, which are important for you. Okay, from competitive benefits you might derive from those are appropriate for you. But these are the common name or group name, or you can say title for those competitive priorities, which might capture quality, responsiveness, cost, and so on. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. I'll discuss this, but we can use any of those terms. Okay, so I'm using here competitive priorities, performance objectives. Okay, now I'm listing out these mainly from these two bullet points. Okay, all right, let's go through this. Okay, so I put one is quality. Now we need to elaborate what is quality. Okay, so I put a very generic definition here, and also these are a generic way of categorizing them. You can specialize all of this. Okay, for a particular operations, I've just put as being right. What is being right? It's fuzzy, right? In a way. Okay, we need some elaboration, specificity. Anybody wants to talk about how you measure quality, or how you define quality, or what are kind of qualities? Some.
Sir, the product should be durable in terms of how much we can extract the maximum value out of it, and in terms of looks, it should be good, because
yeah, Elika, you have something.
So I think quality can be measured considering two types of stakeholders. One is the internal quality assurance teams, and second is externally, any external auditors, or how are consumers perceiving the quality of the product to be.
Sonal.
Sir, as per me, quality would be if the product is developed as per the standards of the product. So if it is up to the mark of that standards, then it is a quality product.
So meeting the standards, you are saying.
Right, meeting the standards.
Praveen?
So for me, it was also the same that we can define two specification limits, and if our product falls between them, it is a quality product.
Okay, fine. Yeah, next, Himanshu, you have something?
Yes, sir. So we would actually first know the CTQs, that is the parameters that are critical to quality, establish upper limit and lower limit. And
Okay, let's not get into the details. So we're just understanding what is quality. So somebody says meeting standard is quality, for example. Okay.
So
whatever the standard may be, we want is still generic, not very specific.
So meeting the mean as well as the variability, the
Okay,
defects
need.
as well as variability.
So meeting the need is another point coming here. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Any additional point?
Quality is basically fitness for use, like fitness from the perspective of consumer.
Okay.
It may be different for different customers.
Okay, fine. Okay, so I'll give you a very generic thing for our purpose here. Quality is a huge area, and then we have an elective course, one full course on that quality. Okay, where the details are available. But for here, we will say based on discussion, one is the need part. So let us say features. Okay, if you have a product and service, a product which is basically goods and service. So product has features. We'll call it features. What features that product contain? Okay, is your one aspect of quality. Second is people said meeting standards. So suppose I define those features, how well I'm producing that product as per those features. See, I might say, that I have a car. I want to produce car which has 10 features. Okay. So 10 features versus 5 features. Another car which has 5 features. So that's one aspect of quality. Other is, okay, whether I do make it to perfection of those features. Whatever is desired in that feature, am I able to produce it to that specification or standards? So the setting standard itself would be one where you can say number of features, okay, and tolerances, for example, okay, and then meeting those features. So we will call it performance quality or nothing but number of features the product provides, and conformance is meeting those standards. Okay, so two quality we will discuss here. I will confine to the two generic view on quality. Performance means number of features. Conformance means how much perfection you have in the product in those features. Correct. Delivery speed, is it important? Time, basically what you are saying is the time. Is it important? Yes.
So basically it's the availability, like whenever we need the product, if it is available or not. So,
okay. So, okay. Anybody else? So I'll come to that availability part. Nancy, you have something? Is it availability or different? Richie?
Sir, variation in demand, right? Because if demand is high at that time, it has to be
so you are saying availability. So
yes.
one person already said availability. Himanshu?
So delivery speed is how quickly we can reach to customers.
Correct.
So if we can actually, if there is a certain variation in demand and we can actually reach to a customer fast, so we get a time to react to that demand.
Okay. So irrespective of demand variability, demand stability, the definition of this is the how quickly you can serve. Okay. So that's your speed. So I'm ordering something in Amazon, they say, like 2 days, express delivery, 1 day, whatever, or 5 days or 10 days normal delivery, right? So that's what we mean here by speed, which is the time to serve. Okay. So that's a lead time, and we know that has value, right? Do you see that as a value to the customer? Can they get the competitive benefit? Okay. Yes, you agree, then fine, right? Then I put another term, dependability. Okay, we have, I think, how much time we have now for the break? Is it time? Then we will take a break. So we'll go from here, dependability, flexibility. After the break, my watch is, let me see my.
Yes, sir, 1 hour has been done.
Yes, 1 hour is done. So we'll take a break, then we'll continue from here. And we'll finish our wind up case also. Okay. So let me pause. Just last time, I think I did something though. Okay. So, so far we have discussed quality, delivery speed. Delivery speed is nothing but the time it requires to serve, right? Time when you order and time you receive that product. The gap between the two. Lead time, basically, is nothing but lead time. Then another word is delivery reliability or dependability. So this dependability is not a generic English word dependability. It's just in the context of the time. So it's something like that. You know, you order something, let's say you go to doctor, right? Now, if you are served in half an hour, then the delivery speed is half an hour. Okay, reliability is you take an appointment for 10 o'clock. And whether your service starts at 10 o'clock, then it's reliable. So whatever is promised time on which if you get service, then it's reliability. Okay. So your Amazon says 2 days delivery, and if you get product in 2 days, then it's reliable. So that's how it is. Okay. So if you have doubt, you can ask. Fine. So both are two different things, right? So I can have a large delivery time, which is lead time, but maybe small reliability on it, or vice versa. So I may have a short delivery time, I quote 2 days, but I always divide by 1 day or 2 days. No, so there's a huge deviation, then I'm not reliable. Okay. Or if you like statistics, you can collect the data on delivery. Okay, how much you have missed and delivery data, but if your average is mean is more like indicator of your delivery speed, and standard deviation is more of indicator of your reliability. Okay, think of that. So these two, and both are important, right? I want very reliable quote on the time, whatever they say. So that's very important. So these two are independent. Marketing will use the term delivery. They will not differentiate for operation. It matters because if you want a fast delivery, I can have a lot of inventory and I can quickly serve from the inventory, right? So that is that can help. Reliability, I should have very reliable system. Everything, you know, all our backend systems should be reliable so that nothing fails. So I can do a lot of different things for those. Flexibility, there just like quality, there are many ways of flexibility you can express, but one could be volume. That means can you change your production level quickly? No. So I can say produce 20, demand is 30, I can produce 30. I can go up to 40, then is a volume flexibility. New product means how quickly I can introduce new product. That's a new product, right? And delivery date, can I change based on the customer need? Then it's again the flexibility. Range of product is also I offer is also flexibility. I can offer multiple products. So I have a specialized hospital which is less flexible than hospital which is a general, you know, which can have a large number of different kind of element can be treated. So that's more flexible. Okay, in that sense. Cost is obvious, right? Cheap. That's the cost. So any question on this definition? No? Okay, fine. So these two are related to time that you remember. Okay. Now somebody says availability. Okay, earlier. So for some situation, this lead time has no meaning, right? So sometimes you want something to be available on the shelf. Okay, whenever you go. So when you go to shopping mall, you're not interested in delivery time there for the product part of it. You may be interested in the counter and all those where check-in time and all those might be important. Their speed is important. But from the product point of view, it should be available there. So availability is more meaningful there than these two measures. So you can think in retail situation, product availability might be more meaningful than this. But for manufacturing, you are ordering product or making product, the delivery time is important, reliability is also important. Okay, supplier reliability is important, lead time both are important, right? Because you want them to quote a time and meet the time, and quickly also you want many times. Okay, that gives flexibility in your operation, so you can schedule the operation very quickly if the demand changes. All right, so let's take example just to reinforce these ideas. So I want to hear from you. In hospital, give me example of quality, speed, dependability. One example which you say quality. What is meaning of quality to a hospital? Yes, Elika.
So probably the level of qualification of the doctors and the surgeons who are serving.
Okay, that will provide, right? It's an indirect way of saying it's like a resource for us. But good doctor might give. So you just put it directly. Treatment is proper. then it's good.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Sindhu.
So equipments, like the efficiency or you can say the type of equipments available in the hospital.
Okay. That might be indicator of good quality. Yes. Yeah. Himanshu.
So even the infrastructure and the environment.
Yes.
The
Environment.
sanitation of the hospital.
So waiting area, let's say, how about reception person, right, who treat you, whether they are friendly, right? They are accommodative. So that's also good. So when it's service setup, people are also important. How they deal with you is quality. Definitely a measure of quality, service quality. Yes. Apart from product, product here is what you want to, what is the value addition you want to be treated, right? So if you say specification quality, then for that treatment, all those measures should be met. Whatever it should be treated, the symptom, right? Then it should be done perfectly. So this is from the first principle. If you want to look at product, look at what value addition you want, what output you want from the input, right? And then for that you can define the quality. Okay. Speed. Yeah.
Availability of the beds.
Okay, so again, so you can put this dependability and speed combined in that sense for the bed part. If it's available, yes. Okay. But we can still have speed in some other context in hospital, not for the bed. For bed, yes.
Whether doctors are available to check on you or not.
So then it is, if you have an appointment, then you will put in dependability. So 10 o'clock you go, doctor is seeing you, then is dependable. If you have an appointment for 10. Yeah, we can take Dipali.
Sir, services available, services given during the emergency cases.
Time, basically. So how quickly you are admitted, for example, in emergency. Yes, that will be speed. Okay. The time to admit patient. Yes. Time to treat patient. Yes. Himanshu.
The wait time for
So we have
patients.
two Himanshu, right? So we have, so don't get that they're getting more chance. One Himanshu. So there are two. Okay. Yeah.
The wait time for the patients.
Yeah, that
So
is speed. Yes, that's the speed. Correct. Dependability is just the time. Basically, you have an appointment, you honor whatever they say, in terms of time. So don't treat that, okay, the hospital says that, they will provide you this kind of thing they did not provide. We don't put it in dependability, we'll put that in quality. Okay. That's how we are defining. So dependability is only time element. Flexibility. Yes, Sindhu.
So connections with other hospital. If the treatment is not available in the hospital, they can transfer it
so
to
alternate, basically it's an alternate place where you can get it treated, right? Yes. Yeah, you have Srikant.
Sir, flexibility would be how fast the hospital was able to convert to a corona hospital. I mean, a real-time example would be
That's
that.
also flexibility.
Yes.
And another could be the range, like multi-specialty hospital, you have a range of things there. So they're more flexible than maybe only the eye center or something, eye care facility. Okay.
Yes.
Because they can cater to the range of things. So there's a range flexibility. How quickly they're getting different kind of, centers in the hospital is also flexible. How much they can accommodate more people, less people in a week, they have 20 bed, but can they get extra bed? That's also flexibility. And they normally have 2 days waiting time, and can they change it if there is emergency coming? That's also flexibility. Okay. So all flexibility. Bus company. Quality. Quality of coach, right? The bus. Quality of staff. You can say, so how the condition of the bus, how friendly the staff
Quality
is.
of seats.
Seats, yes. So all the facilities in the bus, seats, right?
AC in the bus would also be equal.
Yeah. And speed would be?
Less number of stops.
Yeah, time. So basically Mumbai to Pune 3 hours. So 3 hours is speed. Some buses will take 4 hours. So that's slower. Dependability.
Being on time, if the first
Yeah,
comes on
so
schedule.
correct. So they give you a time, right? The 3 hours timetable they give you. Whether they stick to the timetable, then that's dependability. Flexibility, not much you can do. But taxi, you have more flexibility. Like you can't stop normally, right? But company can have flexibility. Sometimes they have more people coming. They can run 2 buses parallel. That's possible in the same time, which happens abroad, right? So that flexibility can happen. But
if a bus breaks down, then how quickly
replacement. So that whether we call it quality is debatable, or dependability or flexibility. So something is debatable there, yes. But definitely it's a value. Correct. Yeah, I think we got the sense, right? So I can move on, right? But there can be ambiguity in the way you put things. But as long as you put all the things under some heading, is fine. No, the terminology might change, but we have to put all the important elements of performance, which are there for that situation. All right. So the question then comes is, why you're so much bothered? No, so I say, I just have up-to-date facility, modern equipments, very trained people, right? Then I should perform well in all these aspects, all these, whatever you see, and I can maybe target to become #1 in the industry. Does it happen? That's a question. Can you be at the highest possible level in each of these aspects? So let's say quality, I'm #1 in quality as compared to competitor. Speed also I offer, which is the best. Dependability is the best. Flexibility is the best. Is it possible to get all these at the highest possible level in the same organization? What is your view? So take the example of this furniture company. Okay. So some products require flexibility, customization. Some are required cheaper, right? Like a standard product. Can you design a facility, single facility, which is best for both? That's the question we are asking. Yes or no? I want to hear. Because that's one of the view, managers keep. I'll have everything up to date, #1, and then I'll do well in all. No, that's not happen. That will not happen. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Yeah. Because I was not hearing anything from you people, right? So is it possible? Yes or no, Anand?
Sir, no, it's not possible to excel in each of these.
Each of these. So that is why you see advertising slogan very carefully. Any company, they're not going to say Toyota is good and cheap. They will say there's a quality and there's a Toyota quality. They will never say we are cheap. Okay. Any advertising they basically position in some aspects, because there is inherent problem. You cannot be #1 in all. For example, if you want to be cheap, you will design facility, mass production, right? Mass buying and assembly line, different kind of system. Okay. Customized services, different kind of system. So this was said. So there are trade-offs, okay, among these performance objectives. So this says, for example, if you say, it says if you want to reduce cost and how you are reducing it by reducing number of inspections, because that's the cost for you, then the quality might suffer. So there's a trade-off. That's one example, right? If you want to say delivery speed, you want to focus on that, you want to improve that, then you can't offer range of product, because that's the problem you're facing in the furniture, right? Your delivery speed is a problem. Now we are not able to put a fast lead time. Lead time is now more, it has increased because we have introduced another product, range has increased. Okay. Same thing, low cost may not go well with flexibility, because you have to have equipment, all those flexible are costly. Okay, they're not utilized properly, so cost will go up. Okay, that's again example you see in the furniture company. Okay, so there is a trade-off. That's the point in these objectives. Okay. All right. So now we have just whatever we have done, just to sum up. So with the examples. Okay. So the business strategy or policy or marketing strategy as a result might define what is the nature of the product you want to be in, what is the nature of the market you want to be in, and in what manner you want to compete. Now, it doesn't mean that they may have come up with unilaterally, right? They may have consulted operations for that, or they may have taken note of where your strengths are, okay, in coming up that. But this is in a way defines product. So you want to be in thali or that, for example. You are Pizza Hut or you are that, right? You have defined all of this, okay? And now we are saying that based on that, you will focus on certain aspects. You will not focus on all aspects of performance. Okay, thali will focus on the cost, right? And quality for thali will be conformance quality. Features are not changing. You know, you have the same products. Okay, only you want to be good, perfect to that. Okay, but it's the hotel which is where the when you are buying from the menu, you expect the variety there, right? So the features are also different. Okay, so then those will be defined, and then accordingly you have to design your operations, which will contribute to those aspects which are emphasized in that market, product and basis of competition. Okay, so that is what is very important. So I hope you are able to see, but we will do this case just to reinforce it further. Okay, so how you can possibly analyze from that in that fashion, you understand your product market positioning, and from there on you understand what are the performance objectives where your operations should be contributing more, where you are expected to contribute more. So if it's a thali, then you know you should be contributing in the price and the conformance quality, for example. Okay, and the lead time, very quickly you should deliver, for example. Okay, so you understand. Then the decisions you make in different areas of operations. So in your inventory policy, to processing, to equipment, to everything, all those should support that, basically. Okay, so this is how you can combine these two. Your decisions are in agreement with your emphasized priorities. Okay, so this is what we develop a matrix. Okay, to do this, which we call it operation strategy matrix. And what we put here is, on this side is your performance objectives in the rows, and columns you put the decisions, and the sales are intersections. So if you say some capacity decision you put, and this is designed to reduce cost, then you put it in this cell. Okay, and same thing, network related. Now this categorization might change, but what is important here is the listing of those decisions. There are many ways of categorizing those decisions. So that's not so much important. Here we have done in a particular way here for illustration. So this is capacity of operations, all related to that. In what how many machines, where they are, for example, in manufacturing. Network, so you bring your suppliers and all those there, network related thing, process technology related thing, and these are soft issues, development related thing. So this is one grouping, but this is not the only grouping, just to say that. So this will be good enough for us for this case study. So I'm using this grouping for this case study on 7-11. Okay. So we'll go into this 7-11 case, and we'll try and develop this matrix, understand this. But the basic idea is you want to see whether your decisions are aligned to your emphasized priorities. Okay. So some highlights. These were the largest retailer, and others retail companies were suffering at that point of time, right? They were not doing well, and these were doing very well. And the secret behind that, they are saying they have implemented advanced inventory management system and supported by IT. Okay, and there was a story why they went about it, where the CEO goes to the shop. He's in a average size, but he doesn't find his shirt, right? And when he inquired, they say that they always order the same amount. Inventory policy doesn't change with the kind of shirts, same. So then that triggered them to do certain things, and that's what the case talks about. So they implemented TIS, Total Information System, which integrates everything from entire supply chain, stores, head office, district, supplier, all those things. They link. Okay, data is available where the products are, in what quantity, everywhere. Okay. Then they did some other things, common DCs. Okay, so where the supplier will use, like right now, if you're supplying to 10 different retailer, maybe you are directly supplying and doing whatever. Now you have a DC where the same type of product is kept. One supplier goes and then puts the product there, for example. Okay, and they did further that also grouping based on temperature. Somewhere it mentions. Okay. And this resulted in a small delivery. This point I want to discuss how that helps. Okay. But initiatives you can just see here. They implemented TIS, common distribution, field counselor. So those are the kind of things. I want you to get those things to me, when we discuss this. And so I think I better leave this. So we bring to the case. You are assuming you have read this case. Okay. So to highlight is this largest retailer, they're selling more, 30% more than the average. Okay, nearest rival they say. Okay. And the expansion were very well planned. You will discuss this. You will tell me what it is later. Field counselor were employed, and whenever they went to 50 stores. The entire territory they occupied. They used TIS. Okay, and TIS tracks when the product is sales. Okay, with the time wise. Common DCs were implemented. A smaller delivery were used. Okay, and products were grouped that these are some major things. Okay, in the case. But what I want is to discuss is this part first. Okay. What it says is by implementing common DCs, they say there and small deliveries to the stores where possible on regular basis, and stock out and space. This part I want to understand. The chances are less in this particular mode than what they were doing. So the change is that rather than direct supply, now you have a common DC. Okay. And one truck basically carrying product from multiple retailers, multiple retail stores. Okay. A small amount of demand of these. So how is that impacting the number of deliveries to stores, stock out situation to stores, and the space requirement to the stores? Are you able to see that if I ship directly to the stores versus I combine the orders of different stores and then ship them, is going to bring out these benefits? So I want you to tell me whether you understand this, or I will just this is how it is saying. Okay, I'm just bringing this part, I leave it blank. So roughly, okay, this is not exact situation, but simple example. Let's assume there are 10 retail stores, S1 to S10. Truck capacity, assume 10 pallets you can accommodate, big truck. Okay. And these are the pallet loads of demand of each retail store. So store 1 has 5 pallets, this has 5 pallets, and so on. So total 50 pallets by 10 stores, right? How you are shipping earlier? Direct shipment. So what I do, this demand I'll meet once. So from the DC, I go to store 1. This is store 1, store 2, store 3. Okay. 5 trucks. So I can put 5 here. 5 pallets, sorry. So one shipment here, one here, one here, once in a week. Is it clear? So I'm going to make 10 shipments, one shipment to each stores carrying 5 pallets. And that will meet the week's demand. That's the first earlier situation. Okay. Later situation is what? I make one round. So basically one truck carries 10 because, okay, I can carry 10 pallets. So you carry 10 pallets and maybe you ship to 2. No, you don't carry, sorry, you carry 10 pallets, but 1 pallet for each store. So the 10 is total. That means you, one round you make, you deliver 1 pallet to each store on a given day. Then you make again next round, maybe next day, like that. Do visualize this. So one is the total demand for a store carried in a truck. Other is the demand is distributed to all the stores. Okay. And one trip serves all the stores, 10 stores, right? So what will happen to availability and space requirement? Here, yeah, Kishan.
Space will reduce.
Right? Because I'm only carrying 1 pallet, not 5 pallets. So I'm just occupying 1 and 4 is free for other products to occupy. And the store, retail store, that space is the key. Main competitive benefit the stores, space. You can show more product, you can keep more product, you can serve better, availability can be improved. Okay. So the availability will improve because you have more variety of products. Okay. So that's the key here. And number of trips, you are making 5 trips here. You are making 10 trips here. Because you are going to 10 stores, not fully occupied, only half filled truck. Okay. You could have possibly done better that hybrid of these two. Okay. Rather than pure of that. So 5 pallet for one and 5 for another, one trip. You can probably minimize that. Okay. But the trip to stores are still one trip per week. Here, more trips per week, right? But the truck trips are reduced. Okay. And but more frequent visit to a store that helps your availability part, reduces your space requirement. So I hope you see this, because that statement was there, so I thought I will elaborate it. Okay, they only say this here. Okay. Okay, now let's analyze this case from the strategic operation strategy perspective. What are your performance objective we want to put from the generic ways? Your cost, quality, delivery speed, delivery reliability, flexibility, right? These were your generic. Which ones are relevant here you can put, which are not relevant don't put. You want to specialize, you can specialize also. Somebody says, okay, conformance quality. Somebody says both qualities. You can specialize this also. So which one is relevant? Is quality relevant for this retail store? Yes, Nancy. Yes or no?
I don't think quality is relevant because they are providing quality product.
Okay.
They are known for their quality.
Correct. So the product quality, right? So it's a milk, it should not spoil, right? For example. So there are perishable goods also. Some may be damaged also. So that's quality is important here. So I put quality. Okay.
Sir, will flexibility be important? I don't think so.
Okay, the flexibility here would be what? Now you can say one could be range flexibility. So one retail store offering 100 different products. Other could be in the morning something sells more, I keep those products. Evening something sells, I just remove those products. Third flexibility could be in some season, some products sell more, right? Like it's a festival season, Navratri season. So you have a different product mix. Can you change it quickly? Other could be some products are obsolete. Can you replace them, bring with the new products? Some are not selling. Those could be, I think, kind of flexibility we can think. Achha, speed and all those I have removed. I put availability because that makes more sense here. Okay. But if you're analyzing the tailor and counter, then you can bring speed also of the service. Flexibility of the response to sales and customer trend. I put here as I discussed. Cost is operating cost, capital, working capital, all those which has retail can play a role. I'm putting this. So all I have done is those 5 generic objectives, 4 I have retained like that. And this availability is combination of those two. I've specialized. So flexibility, this is the kind of flexibility we're looking at. Cost, this is the kind of cost. So you can do that if you want to construct such metrics. All right. Now I want you to name what are the initiatives they have taken. Can you name those initiatives? What are the things they have implemented?
Sir, for availability, they have made sure that there are at least 50 stores in any area and the best utilization of the common DCs.
Okay, so one thing they have done is basically here capacity area, I'll put that more stores, 50 stores in one area. So 50 stores in one area is what they have done. Right? Okay, what else?
They have grouped the items in a way on based of temperature and also on the base of delivery time, so that the number of deliveries to a particular retailer reduced to 10.
Okay, so I'll put that in the supply network.
So they have also network cash registered and handheld.
Let me just put some of those you said. No? So there's 50 stores here. 50 stores. Okay. Then you have a temperature grouping for policy you said, but I'll just put here DC, the arrangement. So the common DC they have and grouping there. Common DC and then grouping. Right? Okay, it is difficult to write. So grouping we can directly also write here, quality and this. But this is by supply network area. They have done some initiatives. which is impacting the supply of the goods to the retail stores. So the common DC has one, right? And DCs are also grouped based on temperature. So that initiative is here. But that particular aspect which is impacting, we can put here also, and here we can name the initiatives. Okay. So that way. So there was something somebody was saying, I missed. Can you repeat the last person?
Yes, sir. So they also network cash registered and handheld terminals so that all the data can be captured.
Okay, so this will put as a TIS under part of total information system. They have the networking where all the data is networked. It's a process technology. I'll put it under process technology. Okay. Yes. And the networking area, this is the supply network. Supply network area, this is the computer network. So we are just separating it. So we're putting is a process technology. Okay.
Sir, for quality, I don't think we have mentioned any point, and I would like to mention that they only partnered with those franchises who were truly interested in meeting their quality standards. So
okay,
maybe that's
the
how they ensure
selection of that.
franchises.
So
yes.
So here we can say the supplier. Of course, this is not mentioned in that case, but that can help. Yes, supplier selection can help here. Quality. Yes. And what else is mentioned?
So there were also knowledge sharing sessions between the different.
So we have a field counselor here, right? Now they were sharing knowledge, isn't it? So that could be best practices they may be sharing. So how will that help? Which part it will improve? Will it be quality? Will it be cost? Will it be speed? Which part do you think?
So speed and cost.
So it should speed cost for sure, right? Because the best practices to that. Maybe it might but all these availability, the product shipment is controlled centralized pretty much. But yes, retail may still be ordering, and based on that only the shipment may be coming. So it might improve this to some extent, but quality. So we are speculating. Basically, data is not given. They are only saying best practices are shared. Now, whether those best practices help improve quality, cost, availability is we're just speculating. Okay. So what are they doing? And they also they say they will help them make more money. Does it say somewhere? They're sharing
Yes,
the
sir.
knowledge to make more money.
Yes, sir. It was
Franchise.
mentioned.
So definitely the cost part is there. Okay, reduce cost. And other part might relate to these two. Okay, anything for that matter. But I would assume the quality, if they're sharing, let us say, housekeeping practices, for example, for quality. Okay, it might improve quality also. And 50 stores are area dominance. What is improved there? Availability might improve, cost might improve, right? Cost is again because when you are doing your distribution, right? You go to 50 stores which are in nearby space, your distribution cost definitely will reduce. Very quickly you can cover those stores in one trip, right? Availability because customer will always find one store in the nearby area. So that way also availability is there, improve. Now common disease, what will happen? And the TI is what is doing. TIS is all is doing is the information is available. So I know where the products are. Is that enough? So I just leave that. I don't do any action. Let us. What will happen? Is action required to make improvement, or just TIS is good enough? Some supplementary action or complementary action?
The action is required.
Okay. Which part is playing action more? The supply network or these based on TIS? So basically,
The supply network.
Supply network. So it will say this retail store has shortage, let us say, right? So it should be shipped. It might say this particular DC has shortage of material. So supplier should be one, supplier should be shipping it with. So the inventory replenishment will be done, right? TIs will say that this product is dying, no more demand now. obsolete. Now, then suppliers should be warned. They should be basically responding to it. So this flexibility, you get it if you have this information. Availability, you get if you have the again TIS information. So this information will help these two aspects a lot. It cannot happen without this information, right? Of course, this is also supporting that because you can combine product and ship it early, so very quickly you might ship. So availability, flexibility might be impacted that way also. But TIS is also helping. So it also tells that in one decision area you make some adjustment. You might have to make some accompanying adjustment, complementary adjustment in other area to reap the benefit. So this way there might be linkage. Okay. Sometimes you have this way trade-offs. Okay. I make a decision here which might benefit this, but it might not benefit this. Okay. So the trade-off will be seen in this mostly. Complementarity of decision will be seen in this way. So you can basically look at this whole matrix to play which individual sales are impacted and which sales basically are working together because of this, and which sales are not working together because of this. So I make something which will support cost, but it might kind of hamper my flexibility. Might happen that, right? So this is many things what we can see with these tools.
Sir, could you please repeat what is this FC under development?
Which one?
This FC, sir, under organization.
Achha, this the field counselor. So the field counselor's job is to basically, one is share best practices. So they will interact with those retail stores closely, and then they find something good, they will tell about that thing to other retail stores, for example. They will also go to a particular retail store to make improvement suggestions. Now that they may have learned basically from other stores or their own also. So they will give a lot of improvement ideas. That is.
And have we considered that connected cash registers and handheld terminals?
So that one is basically
okay, TIS.
TIS is kind of getting the data, is fed it into that system, which can be used by field counselor as well as others. So they might also see what's going on in the stores. They might say, no, your ordering pattern is not good. Why don't you do this? I don't see it right, based on my analysis. So all those things can be suggested.
Okay.
So this is my categorization: capacity, supply network, process technology, development. And within capacity, the decisions were location of store, size of store. So you want to dominate area of 50 stores, and size in the sense more supplies, in that stores. So like overall capacity is increasing for you as a chain, not necessarily as a individual stores. Number and type of disease indirectly controlled, order and stock replenishment, how it's done based on TIS information, based on other things, right? TIS, and then franchises, new product development ideas. You might say something is not selling, something is selling based on the network data and all those, but you are saying something. Or individual stores can be given suggestions. So how this is impacting? This is impacting the distribution cost, advertising cost is reduced because of this. It's mentioned in the case. This part is not predominant, not mentioned, but you can mention those also. Availability is impacted. Okay, this can be. So it's not don't think that is an exhaustive exercise. How is this impacting? Common disease, small frequent deliveries might reduce your cost of distribution because they're also okay. TIS allows trend predictions, so you can flexibility can be improved if you follow the trend and make adjustment in supply. It's not only the trend, but you have to make adjustment. Availability, again, when you get the data, something is missing, you quickly replenish stock. So that's where you can do. Temperature grouping by temperature is helping in quality. Okay. TIS information is used to improve flexibility, but this alone is not enough. It's important. Franchisee have put in 2 cells on cost and availability, equality, but you can think of other, you can put those also. It's all are qualitative and subjective, which is 3-star, 2-star, but the major contributor is TIS. Because of that, you are able to make other adjustments. Okay, so it's put a given more importance, but If you perceive differently or data support it differently, it can be changed. So it's no hard and fast thing that this is how it will work. Okay, but overall idea you should see. Okay, one more question before we go. Just to the debate what we started, whether operations can contribute strategically. What is your view in 7-Eleven? You do find strategic contribution of operations? The way operation is organized is giving them competitive benefit.
Yes, sir. It is competitive because they have used TIS system from initial only, and based on that, they have competitive advantage also on demand analysis and I would say demand forecasting, and also managing the availability of the goods at the right time.
So flexibility, availability, quality, cost. So what we should say is, one evidence is that our retail stores are suffering, only this store is doing well. So that means they have done something different, right? So TIS, they are the early adopter of that, first ones among this. Okay, so you can think of TIS as the core competency at that point of time for them. Okay, they are clearly reaping benefit in all these dimensions. They are doing very well, then others are not doing well. They have losses. So you can see operations properly designed can play core competency, or they can play strategic role to provide all of this at the highest possible level, higher level than competitor. Highest possible may not be possible. Okay, so that you can see clearly. You should be able to see this. Another thing I want to point out is we talk about long-term decision, strategic decision. Long-term strategic. Long-term decision can have strategic implications, but whether companies make that decision keeping that in mind may not be always true. I might make long-term decision. I may not fully be aware of strategic implications. Okay, here this company has choice of making tactical decision. Okay, because they found inventory was an issue, right? They were just having same inventory policy for all the products. So they could have said, okay, let's change inventory policy. Don't do anything else. That will sort out that particular trigger what came. But they went ahead and take strategic decisions, made a lot of fundamental changes in the system, and they had the benefit. So that is what is important. Okay, so and long-term decision also, sometime I buy a plant not necessarily considering all these aspects, but maybe is available, somebody is selling it, I buy it. Okay, whether it give me a strategic benefit not, I really do not know. Okay, so that can happen. So this is what I want to point out. So long-term have implication, but you may not consider. You may have an option of making tactical decisions, solving short-term problems, but these companies looked at long-term and they did strategic initiatives, and that is based on operations, and the company can benefited a lot. So that's, I think, note from my side. Okay. Now, looking at this analysis, particular way of analyzing things, can we go back to our case and try and address the fourth question? So right now, their operation is not set to meet the requirement both the products. It was not designed to cater to both the products, but situation has evolved, and then now you have two types of products, right? Now, if you do a strategic audit, you will clearly find where you are lacking. Okay, so a strategic audit of operations will mean from a strategy point of view, operation strategy point of view. If you look at product, market, competitive priorities, then look at your decisions whether they are rightly made. Okay, so that is why I have deferred these questions. Okay, and what I'm suggesting is something like operation strategy perspective or that type of metric. So you start with competitive priorities. Look at your products. Now you have two products, right? Custom furniture and standard furniture, right? How do these compete? Custom furniture, what basis? Yeah, anyone? You can tell this difference. Are they competing the same way? Because it mentions in the case the standard furniture. Yeah, Sonal.
In the case of competitive priorities for custom furniture, the customers can actually choose their wood. So they have a choice over there. They have more custom designed things they can make, while in the case of standard furniture, they don't have much of a choice. Whatever is available on the shelf, they have to buy.
Okay, So if you're looking for no choice, good features, the common features at good price, you'll go for standard, right? So the price is important. And the case also mentioned delivery time. These customers were sensitive to delivery time and the price. So you want to go to retail store, you want off the shelf, available there, items. You don't want to wait. So delivery is very important there. And for this one, the delivery is not so important. No, you order and you wait because you are there customizing. Features are more important. For you, the quality is, even the performance quality is important. Here is conformance quality which is important, right? So you will be competing more on price. It's more like thali, right? Somebody has pointed out at that point of time. Conformance quality, price, and instant quick delivery. Here it will be performance quality, that means lot of features, flexibility, right? That way. And conformance as well, you want to get to perfection, good quality, craftsmanship, all those you look for. But lead time is not so important, price is not so important, isn't it? Now, based on that, if you do analysis, now you will find maybe answer which is not common to both the groups. If you are looking at, let's say, process equipment, I want more equipment which are more flexible here, people who are more skilled here, right? Here, I don't want that. It's not, I don't want to pay for that because the cost is very important, right? So I'm not going to do the analysis, but I just want to bring you to the point that if you have done this analysis, you would have figured out, where things have gone wrong and what could be the possible strategies. So if you want to stay in both the business, for example, one facility is not going to work. You need to create different facilities for both. Okay, if you want to be in both the business. So you can slowly do it. You might have a common thing for purchase department, but you may have a specialized thing for maybe the manufacturing department. You can think about those. Okay, design department is still common. They're designing both product comfortably, no problem, but manufacturing will have problems. Okay, so you may have to kind of have a clear separation for those facility wise if you want to go in both. Or you only be in one, but then you will have other problem that if this is saturated market, then you lose this, your brand name. So you have to think about those options, but this helps you in coming up with those options. What could be your future course of action? I hope you see this, okay, with this analysis, right? And operation strategy is all about basically linking your competitive priorities to your decisions. Okay, more like that idea. And we have a full course on this operation strategy. Okay, it's an elective course offered in second year. So there you look at the detail, but the core idea is similar to this. Okay. So I've been able to introduce OM and OS, I believe, right? We'll take the individual chapters, but then why should you study this operations management course? So I put some points here. Okay. OM provides a systematic approach to observing organizational process. We'll have systematic tools, techniques we study here. Other courses will not teach, so it can be useful from that point of view. Of course, this is the core part of your core. You like or you don't like. Many people don't like OM courses, but it's a necessary evil for those who don't like it. Okay, so it's a part of your curriculum. You have to graduate, so you have to do it. So that's requirement for you, right? The tools what may have a cross-functional appeal, as I said, that all the function can be used as doing transformation. So some of those might be useful. And those who want to stay in operation, you might find some interesting career in operations. Okay, in many areas. Okay, so these are the utilities. And with that, I think I conclude this. Okay, and we will move on to now other chapters. We'll pick up those issues, decisions, right? Capacity, management, facility. And all other decisions will take one by one, which are design related or setting up the system related in OM1. That's what we will do in the rest of the course, right? I stop here, and yeah, then we'll meet now next time with the new topics. All right.
Sir, wanted to ask about the recording. How can we get the recording?
Yeah, recording, I will put it. So if you want, I'll put it. You want the recording?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll put it today. So only the last time the second part has a problem because I had a break. Okay, so this time it will be a single recording. Last time the first part is there. Second part has not come. Okay. So I'll put the first part in today's recording, entire recording.
Sure, sir. Sir, also, if it is okay with you, we can also, the CS can also record at our end, and we can post if you want us to record. the meeting. You'll just have to make us the host. That is it.
Yeah. So are you remind me? So right now it's working so fine. So I'll just put it because this recording will come. Only thing you remind me if I don't forget the recording part. Okay.
Sure, sir. Sure.
That is
sir,
good enough for now. And if I need, then I will do it.
Sure, sir. Can we also get the PPTs, sir, for the lecture?
PPTs I have put right already. Whatever the thing is there.
Okay, sir. Okay, right.
It's already there, and I'll put this one also. Till today I have already put.
Okay, sir. Right. Thank you.